Hello people, welcome to year 5 of Hype Labs. I am Sam. Welcome back once again. We are live from my bedroom this time, and aka the editing room when I'm doing the stuff. So hello guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the greatness that was H&RV yesterday. For those of you that haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you do, because it is extremely good. Sorry, I'm just checking stream things. But, no, welcome. We have a lot to get to today. The stream isn't scripted, the stream isn't really planned that well. It's just, mainly I'm just going to be providing a nice deep dive into my world of what we see most of the time before you guys do. So I think this should be interesting, especially because if you've seen Hyper H Volume 5, you know how big it is, and I figured, because I've been wanting to do this kind of thing for the longest time, and I thought this is like the perfect opportunity to do it. So we're gaming, and I need my gamer juice. Oh wait, sorry, we're not gaming, we're editing. My bad. And I am getting an echo on YouTube, which should stop. There we go. Hello, Devin. I see you in the chat. I have arrived. Welcome. So yeah, again, this isn't planned. Nothing is scripted or anything. I'm just gonna dive into what I think will be interesting, and maybe y'all can get a kick out of it and see what it's like, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I say we get straight into it. Let me just actually check something really quick before I deep dive. I'm just gonna hit y'all with the streaming magic screen. I just need to check that all my numbers are in place really quickly. Oh, I knew it! I needed to zoom this out. Hang on a second. Alright. Y'all should be ready to receive. Alright. Here we go, gentlemen. What you're about to see is what I stare at all night. Welcome to Final Cut Pro. Yeah, this is what... So, to break it down for you, this is the program, an editing program for Mac. This is what I use to edit, and Blurgel sometimes when he wants to. But this is mainly what I use to get our stuff done, and I feel a lot of people prefer Premiere, a lot of people prefer Sony Vegas, but this is what I use, and I like it because it's simple, straight to the point, and there's no complicated bullshit. So, just to give you a quick run through of what you're looking at. So, timeline is up here, and if I play it. Yeah. I hope that's not too loud for you. I can turn it down a little bit. See how that goes. So, you got your time. This is the timeline. There's the video itself. Below me is the clips that can be dragged into the screen, and on the far right, over here is all the stuff that can be tweaked. So we can tweak the size, we can tweak how wide it is, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. So I'm just gonna go one at a time of stuff that is interesting and give you a little bit of history of where stuff goes. And I think the perfect place to start would be actually this clip right here. There's a bit of a story behind the beginning of this. So if let me hit play.
Alright, so I'd like to propose a toast to the beautiful gamer girls. I am currently surrounded by Omar, Lucas, Sam, and Dawson.
So the funny bit with the beginning of Hyper H5 is that this wasn't actually the first clip. This wasn't actually the first clip that was in it. What happened was that we were actually in the middle of just playing Overwatch on November 4th of last year, and we thought, you know, because the COVID was in its rampant stages back then, we thought, oh, most of the boys are rounded up. Why don't we just have a little toast to ourselves and kind of celebrate the fact that, yeah, we're still around and all that kinds of stuff. And I thought, And it's not in here, but I don't know where the full audio file is, but there's a bit in here I'm like, Nick, this is perfect, the toast and everything. I want you to record that for me so we can so we can get it in Hyper Age 5. I want it for the beginning. And I think it works perfectly for the beginning, considering that stuff hasn't gone our way for the channel last year, and I thought this would be perfect.
And shouts out to Dawson for just dropping the dollars to get Lucas a fucking gamer girl headset.
And that was the other thing too, is that Lucas actually bought Dawson a headset on this night, just out of nowhere. And I think Dawson was completely drunk during that day. But that's besides the point. What's important is that I wanted a clip at the beginning to establish what the core theme of the channel is friendship. And I think everyone gets this by now, is just how important this channel means to us and how we've kind of... It's hard to explain, but basically every time we're ever online and whenever something, wacky ass happens, it always comes down to, we gotta record that, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, get that shit going. Because I don't think you guys realize is that we mainly, even though we don't record, like we do record LPs and things, most of our moments that come from the Hyper Rage montages, all of them, are just clips off our PlayStations and stuff like that. Which, I'm surprised no one has really commented, oh wait, you guys didn't record Crash Team Racing for any video, like that kind of thing. But it mainly comes off of PlayStation clips. Which, there's so many in here, it's crazy. But yeah, this whole segment here with us talking was just a little bit that I thought would be perfect for the beginning. And it works perfectly because it just, it's just us chilling out for like 5 minutes and just, we all cracked open our drinks and just do that. But no, that's perfect because it also leads perfectly into the actual beginning.
Yeah, Sigma's the new half the
Now we can move in. Everyone go.
Go! I ulted.
Let's see what they do about this.
Yeah!
I think what's always the best, the hardest part about every year at Hype Labs is trying to find the clip. And when I mean the clip, is finding the clip to be the actual starting hype clip. Because usually now I won't deny it, most of our moments do come from Overwatch. And it's funny, every single Hyper Rage at this point has started with Overwatch, and I'm sure some people probably, some people probably don't understand most of Overwatch, but the funniest part is that that's where most of our moments come from, and we play it most of the time. So whenever something wacky ass happens like this, it's kind of just like, you know what? It has to go in.
Oh, big O tires, oh.
You know what? That's the first edit I should probably look at. So right here, if we actually zoom in, so you can see all this is right here is just text coming in. And the way this works is with keyframing. So this is really simple stuff just to make this look presentable. Because usually when I'm doing titles with little moments like this, I find it kind of boring just to have a title, just appear. Just appear on the screen and just say what we're saying. It's kind of ludicrous to do it all at once, like just repeatedly, because that can not only be too time consuming to edit, because sometimes it can take too long, but also, you gotta know when it's needed. So if you're ever gonna think about editing something, and you're gonna do this kind of content where you're talking over gameplay, I highly recommend doing titles, because it not only helps you identify, people talking, but it also helps you get the point across if you're trying to make visual gags. Because also, what was the inspiration behind doing titles for all of our videos since year one was that I noticed a lot of people doing gaming content would do titles like this, but they would never do specific colors for people who were talking. Now, I know there was a YouTuber that I watched that actually did colors for people talking, but he never associated a specific color for a specific person. And when me and Nick were making the channel, I thought when making all the videos down the line, I thought, why don't we just identify ourselves with a color? And I feel like that would be a lot easier to manage. So no, that's that. And because all this is just, because you can see on the right here is the scaling from the keyframes right here. So it starts at 0%, so you cannot see it. And then it's exploded big. And then there's a couple of frames right here. Mute that, we don't need to hear that. A few frames of it slowly zooming in, so basically it's going like this. And then slowly zooming in to catch your attention. Do a little quick fade into the 4-kill. So that's just basic, keep your eye in the center, keep the attention going, and then show the event. Because even though this is something that's really simple and it could have just easily have been, you know, show the thing on screen, get rid of it. It's all about, especially for something as big as HyperH5, it's all about presentation. You gotta make this shit look good. Because also, with this bit where Nick is freaking out here, this is another good example of scaling working at its best with, you know, a drop shot. Because originally this was just a Big O Tire logo on the internet, but all it is, you can see it's that all this stuff has been put on it. Because the logo was actually originally black, but it has colorize on it to make it red. There's a color board on it to make it even more red, and the drop shadow on it so it pops off on the screen. So you get that, because not only that matches with his color, but it also looks funny with him going, Big O Tires, oh. I just thought that'd be funny. But you know, this whole opening segment is extremely important for not only for nailing the tone of what this Hyper Rage was going to be, but also I feel it's always good to have a good beginning. Because this is like the first, when thinking about YouTube analytics, you really got to think about like, alright, the first 5 to 10 minutes have to sell the video. And you have to make it look good. And I thought this would be the most perfect clip. Because not only is one 4-kill, it's 2 4-kills. And yeah, this was another good example of using visual editing. So, you'd think right here it would just be as easy as showing the kill in the corner. And then, you know, just leave that to itself. But I thought, no. We take that a step further. So what's going on here is that all this is just a PNG of Reaper just doing this famous shrug emote, because Omar does it all the time when he plays Reaper, and he's become much associated with that character now, is, you know, just do that, have it come in from the corner, along with the zoom in on the 4-kill, and just have it mainly all aligned in the center, because also you gotta follow the rule of title zones. And this is basically what you use to show... Yeah, I should actually explain title zones. That's kind of important. So you actually see oh shit, that's a bit too far. So you'll see that there's this little white lines around the video itself. Let me actually take away my thing. So you'll see these little itty bitty faint lines around the video, and that's to help you keep the title centered. This one is not as centered, but it's meant to line up with the Reaper picture. But it's a thing that most editors use to keep titles centered, and it's in center vision so you can read it properly. And it's a rule that you really have to follow to make sure nothing is clouding the screen. And yeah, that's pretty much the first... Keep in mind, that's all in the first 2.5 minutes. Because with a lesson I learned when doing HyperH 3 was that I felt like the opening was a bit too long. I know it's very similar to this, but if any of you remember HyperH 3, the opening I felt it was a bit too long. And I needed something a lot more straight to the point, and thank God something like this happened when we were playing, and I thought, that's perfect. Using that immediately. Perfect as shit. Because, like I said, when we're playing Overwatch, or just anything can frickin' happen. And with a game like Overwatch, it's really easy to just create moments. And speaking of creating moments, I had to make the intro to, like, the actual intro to this look good. So, So let me just play this bit for you and show you what's going on here. Let me just unmute this.
What you wanna do, baby? It's on you, baby.
So that whole bit has a lot going on. Let me actually turn off the title zones. So let me show you exactly what's going on here, because there's a lot. So firstly, the song I'm using here is from Sengoku Basara, the anime from Sengoku Basara, which is like the most hype track for building up, because it's just a guy going, "What you gonna do, baby?" And I thought, that's perfect. I was rewatching it and I thought, oh my god, that's the song. So starting from here, the song is building up, and right here we have an audio cue, an audio keyframe that starts at, let me tag it. So it's at -6 decibels, as you can see right over here in the corner. Starts at -6, and then it's going to go all the way out to -1. So it's going to be really loud. I want this to, for like anyone watching this in the living room, I want everyone in the house to hear it. Like, I want this to be big, because you can see how big the waveform gets across it. So from here, we use the same space background that we've been using for every year now. So that fades in from the black, along with the 4 big texts, which are all 3D. So if I actually open that up, you can see there's all the settings to lay out the gradients, the faint purple underneath the white, which I felt was a good theme for this one. And then, yeah, and here's all the 3D text options, managing the depth. And it's all the same, except they're all popping in at different moments, matching up, all fading in at different moments, matching up with the lyrics of the song. And then, of course, our classic purple and yellow color scheme with the baby. And then in the last 5 frames, the background is doing a zoom effect, so grabbing your attention from there, as well as making this... I go a bit lazy with this, as I just make the text pop out, but you don't really notice that, because the effect of it's meant to be pulling you in. So it's like boom. And this thing was amazing, as I made this in Apple Motion, which is another Apple-based program where you can do some graphic design stuff with animations. And all this is just white lines coming out, circle in the middle, and it's actually the same image as the background here. But it's a lot more stretched out and duplicated in multiple layers, so it looks more spacious. And it gives the illusion that it's zooming in, but it's really not. So all that is just meant to give the effect of something's coming up. I'm really proud of this, because this is the best part. So copying the same text I did here, this is also 3D text. We're going by the years right here. So what this text is, it's other 3D text, but it has a lot of going on here. So we actually have a drop shadow behind it, because without it, that looks pretty jank. So on, off, on, off. Now you think, well, without the drop shadow, it doesn't look that bad, but I wanted the years to pop off a bit more to make it more clear. Because also, I have a color burn blend on it, because if I put it on normal, it just doesn't look right. Because the theme I wanted to do for it is, I wanted it to be I don't want it to be too in your face. So, I recommend whenever anyone trying to edit and they want to do some fancy stuff, definitely fiddle around with compositing. Because all this is starting at 0 opacity, going up to 75, so it's faint enough so you can still see it. And it has a blend mode on, so it's actually blending in with my space background, so it looks like it's actually a part of the background instead of, you know, just there. Because you can also see it has the same white and purple gradient, which works well with this because you can see that the purple gradient is working well with the background because it's actually adding a little dark purple-esque feel to the text itself. So it's the beauty of color burn because it will actually meld within the background. So not only that, what's going on here is that you can also see, you should do full screen, so you can actually see all of our old clips going on really faintly in the background. Like there's some clips from Hyper Rage 1, clips from our iNinja playthrough. Then we go on 2018, Sonic Adventure, Anarchy Reigns, Operation Drapachi, Spook Zone. That was from Devil May Cry stream, the Mortal Kombat stream, the Doom LP. And yep, there's the when we started playing Overwatch again, the prop hunt video, the Resident Evil 2 playthrough, and then of course some Fall Guys footage because that was one of our biggest videos of the year. And after that, we do one more big zoom, and speed up the motion, and then do a bloom. This bloom effect is brightening the image a hell of a lot, and bam, titles. Not only that, but the music is like going full kick-ass. You know what? I'm just gonna let it play again because it looks too good. Hang on. This intro is too good.
What you wanna do, baby? It's on you, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
God tier stuff. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, what's I apologize if it looks somewhat weird. I am using when I was testing to stream this, my MacBook was going a bit crazy, so I have the quality of the preview on a low performance mode, so it probably looks a little bit weird, but gotta do what we gotta do. So hang on, let me just check some stuff. Alright. We're rolling. This is going really well. Hello, Says. Welcome. Anyways, I was saying, we're getting straight to the logo design now. Now, when we're talking about logos, you gotta make your shit look good. And just for reference sake, hold on. Let me actually pull up some reference. Give me 1 second. Hang on. Because I actually have some of our old stuff that I can show you. Just for reference sake, of course. Hang on. Let me find it. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Minimize that for later. Alright, so for comparison's sake, I think it'll work if I do this. Alright. So, what you're looking at here is the very first Hype and Rage logo. Looks like shit. Hello, good morning. Also, yes, that logo is awesome. Oh, it is. So, what you're looking at here, though, is the logo, is the thumbnail for the very first Hype and Rage. This has a major history, as one of the main ideas behind Hyper Rage 5 was that I wanted to correct a lot of the mistakes I made with Hyper Rage 1. Because there was a ton that I did. Yeah, I'm going to keep it like this. So, yeah, it's just text. But you notice, like, a bunch of... This is a graphic designer's nightmare at what you're looking like. Because all it is the background is amazing. This background is iconic, and I really need to Photoshop it. But the problem here is that you can see is that there's no outlines. Like, it's half black, and it just looks awful. And I never wanted to George Lucas it because it's a classic, and that's what I never wanted to change. Then we move on. But then move on to Hyper Rage 3. I'm sure many of you remember this one. This one I'm pretty happy about, because all this is just the same space background that we have used over the many years that we've done the channel. And what's funny is that this text that I used here is for frame data. It's the same font that I used for frame data. Because I thought, yeah, I don't feel like getting another font. Oh yeah, 3 was fine. And this whole thing works because if it was just the logo with the space background, I felt like that would have been a bit lazy. So I just thought, why not just put a bunch of our thumbnails in the background that are really faint, and it works. But with Hyper Rage 5, I wanted to take it a step further and actually use Final Cut to make the thumbnail, because I always use this program, Apple Pages, to make the thumbnail, but this time I actually used Final Cut for it. And by that, I actually made a separate project and just snapshotted the logo here. So, to provide some insight on how the logo was made, here it is. 5 is the magnum opus of the Hyper Rages, in my opinion. Oh my god, that... Thank you, says. That makes me happy that a lot of you really liked it. Anyway, so... here's the logo for Hyper Rage. Now, again, this Hyper Rage 5 was meant to be a huge tribute to the very first one, considering this was the 5 years that we've been doing this channel. So, the logo here was for the first 3D text. Oh, all this was 3D. I mainly was using a bunch of 3D text for this one, because I really wanted to up the ante with how good I wanted this one to look. So, this is actually the same font from the Hyper Rage 1 thumbnail and video, but I wanted it to look good. So it's the same font, but with some actual changes. So we have some drop shadow in there, we have an aura to make it bright, and we actually have a brightness slider which actually goes up slightly and then down again slightly, and you can barely notice that it looks like it's pulsating to really make that pop off. And I'm really proud of how this looks, because the big part was this. As soon as you hear the music ramp up and you hear the the 5 fades in. So this was brilliant what I did here. So it's the same effect as the previous titles. It has the white and the purple underline, but it's actually extruding. So you can see here is the scale for it. Here's the X and there's the Y. But pay attention to the X right here, this slider. Watch what happens when I go by frame by frame. Or actually, let me play it out first and just watch. So you can see that I'll play it again. And just one more time. Yeah, so the V is actually extruding at the side, so it looks like it's opening up, as well as becoming slightly bigger. And also, it's using the same technique I did with the yearly titles earlier, and we use a blend mode. And this is actually, well, first let me show you. This is what it looks like without the blending. It looks awful. Because again, I didn't want to just go the lazy route and just have it be, just slapped on right in front of a background, done. No, I wanted to try and be really creative with this. So we use the overlay blend, and it looks like the background's coming off. And that looks freaking godlike. Fun fact, when I showed the guys... When I showed the guys for the first time this logo, and it was the exact same time you guys did as well, back in, back in January. It was the first time they seen it, and I remember getting a message from Omar saying it was the first time Omar saw it. He was like, "No, that logo is freaking great." It was so good that when I was making the thumbnail, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna snapshot that. That's the thumbnail. I don't need to do anything else. So yeah, it's the most perfect logo, and when you go on the channel, it will be the first thing you see for the remainder of year 5. And I hope this Hyper H5 will be the first video a lot of people see, because I feel like it is the best introduction for what we are, because it is a perfect combination of all of our stuff. Like, if you want a good vibe of the channel, this is it. So yeah, this is a good example of how to utilize 3D text along with a lot of blending tools and zooming in, compositing, and just a bunch of crazy lighting effects to make this look good. Because this may look super complicated, but all it is just 3D text layered really, really good. And really, really fancy blending. Really solid. I highly recommend anyone trying to get in like graphic design or editing. I highly recommend trying to do this sort of thing, because it's amazing. Finally, Sam's face isn't a bunch of pixels on my phone screen. Up that quality. You're gonna have to up that quality a bunch. I know my bitrate's okay. But no, yeah. It was freaking perfect. Anyway. So yeah, that's that. We'll let that stay in for a bit. The Hyper Rage is zooming in. And then we have it bloom, and we cut to the first clip. So, honestly, again, we're now only almost 3 minutes in. And again, I wanted this to sell someone seeing the channel for the first time. And also, presentation is important too, because you really gotta make it look good and not lazy as shit, because that's what will look bad. So it's perfect. So yeah, and then we cut to the first clip, and there is the the usual stuff you're used to seeing with our text. All of it. But I think the funniest bit is that all of this wasn't the first thing I did. If you want the actual first thing that went into Hyper Rage 5, it was actually this. Hang on. The first clip that, in terms of actually editing Hyper Rage 5, it was this clip right here. Oh shit.
I got you, Sam. Alright. 74 till Earth Shatter. Nice job, Sam.
There's like at least 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, I imagine they're gonna start pushing in that direction.
Got the Lucio.
Alright, fuck this.
Stay alive. Careful, Sam. Let me get ahead of you. Oh, no, you're fine. By the way, you passed up a Sigma. There we go.
No, I know. I wanted to get rid of the healer first.
Good call. I was like, Sam, you kind of just hype beamed away from a Sigma. I imagine he's glued to the wall, just like.
No, I know. I knew you were behind me and you saw him, so you were hitting him, right? So you got it.
I just imagine I walked up, like, dragging my mace, and I turned and looked up, and I was like, hey, Sam, you forgot one. A lot of them at mid right now.
You got one on the right at least.
Oh, I've got the right idea. I see what he's doing. Oh, that's big. That's a big hack. Oh, that's a lot of ults. This is gonna really hurt. Yep, I'm dead.
Oh,
yep,
shit.
Yep.
Come on, Omar! Oh, that Sigma's draining it, though.
Yeah. We need to get on point quick.
Keep coming, motherfucker.
Oh, shit! We won't let that be in vain! Get back in!
So I'm actually going to stop it right there. I just wanted to hear that bit again. So this clip was actually the first one that went into the Hyper Rage 5, and let me explain. So this is a good segue, because I can also talk about how we actually start doing these. So to give you a sort of timeline of how this all works is that around like the November to early late October period is when I start gathering clips. And I can show you exactly what that looks like. Hang on, let me get you all in. Yeah, I can say I'm the master at segues. Let me actually get you into the meat of it all. And you know what? I think we need some background music. Hang on. We need some good talky music. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Just hit that on. Oh, perfect. All right. Okay. So, what you're looking at here. So what you're looking at here is a folder containing all of our games that we play and everything. So let me actually clear this up by name. So all these folders are all games that we play, and they have clips in them. All these are games with clips in them. So look, here's Devil May Cry 5. There are all of our clips of Devil May Cry 5. And if I open this up, you can see it's Devil May Cry 5 gameplay. Or if I go right here, you can see this is when it was me, Nick, and Case playing Devil May Cry co-op. All this is everything saved, documented right in here. And you can also see on the right, all these icons are all the tags. This is a godsend for me because this helps organize where clips have gone and where they're going. So anything you're seeing with a yellow circle is in Hyper Rage 5. So basically the first 2 months of Hyper Rage will be going through here and just seeing what will work. What would I do to leak into that folder? More hype content is more hype content. Yeah, this is 5 years of stuff that we've recorded, and most of this hasn't been made into videos yet. Which we make more clips than we do actual videos. It's insane, because we're still trying to recoup the amount of, oh my god, it's so hard to explain. But basically, we just have so many clips that it's hard to manage making videos to keep up with the amount of clips that we're saving. Because also we're trying to edit LPs and things, so it's insane. But yeah, that's that. But also, I think the best example I can give you is in Overwatch. Because the crazy thing is that you can see that they're all listed by year. Hang on. I don't know why this is a white background. There we go. So, Overwatch is a special case because you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of stuff here. Actually do it down here. So if I say go into 2016, not that many clips. How many clips do we have here? 21 clips. But if we say go into 2018, yeah. Yeah, there is a ton of stuff that we have not made into videos yet, and if I do select all, there's 105 clips in here. And if I go to 2020 alone, you'll see there's almost as much, 61. It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of stuff we save. The Apple OS is throwing me off. It doesn't have enough chaos. That's why I like MacBooks, because it's nice and Fisher pricey, so I know what I'm looking at. But no, yeah, it's super easy to look at in terms of where we're getting this stuff. So throughout the first month of editing, I'll be scouring through clips and just getting a bunch of stuff. And you can see we label them and make sure we know what they are. Not all of them are labeled, of course, but it's easy to keep track. And then after a few weeks, after I have them all tagged, all these clips are all the clips that are in Hyper Rage 5 that aren't streams or anything. All of these are all just clips that have been saved off our PlayStations and have just been thrown in Hyper Rage 5. It's nuts. You can see the huge gap of Fall Guys, one clip from Devil May Cry, and a shitload of Overwatch, because that is where most of our moments come from. So, back to what I was saying, is that anything can happen. Not everything goes as planned when I'm editing these. this was the first clip because actually fix my screen. Hang on. There we go. So this was actually the first clip I edited for Hyper H5 before I laid out any more clips, because when this happened, and this was, yeah, the 1st of November of 2020, and also keep in mind all the, yeah, that's actually something to keep in mind, chat. All the clips in here are from 2020. So, you know, there are a few exceptions, as I felt, because sometimes I like to include things that, because Nick worked on Volume 4, and he didn't include some things that I felt like I would have put in there if I was working on Volume 4, so I thought, yeah, I'll just slap him in. But mainly anything you're seeing is from 2020. So when Omar did this, I thought this is going to be in Hyper H5. I don't know where it's going to go, but this is going to be a hype as fuck moment. So why don't I walk you through how this works? So let me pause that for a minute. So actually no, I'm stupid. I can leave it on. So compared to before this clip comes up, we had some other funny moments happen and the teasers, which I'll get to later. But the first clip is important because this shows you how kind of my editing brain works in terms of getting stuff in. So this is another one of those moments where I didn't want it to be too complicated. So you can actually see in there are no titles. There are barely any titles during this segment until Omar drops down, gets the quad, and then we win the game. The only edits you're seeing is in the top left, displaying our names in our multiple angles. That's all it is, because the important thing with this segment was the build-up. That was the most important part, because I want you to, because after the last bit, which was the Fall Guys spider segment, wanted enough build-up for you to be like, what? What is this building up to? So yeah, there are no crazy edits in here, because this is like one of the biggest bits of Hyper H5. So you can see there's the little tease right there of Omar walking along the beam, and then eventually we get our butts handed to us. You know, all of us start dying, and then we come back to Omar and drop. So, says, I see that Omar dropping down deserves titles. Now, while that actually may be true, and I was about to get to that, and I was actually mentioning this earlier in an earlier segment, you don't want to go too overboard with your titling, because I wanted this moment to speak for itself, as this moment was too fucking good to do justice. And by that I mean, when you want a moment to sell, you want the music to sell too. Like, really, I'm gonna play the beginning of the clip. I want you to pay attention to the build-up of this whole entire segment.
Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive. Careful, Sam, let me get ahead of you. Oh, no, you're fine, you're fine. By the way, you...
Actually, let me just, I'm gonna turn up audio a little bit, because I notice it's... Sunflower is being very quiet. Turn up just a little bit. Alright.
Pass up Sigma, there we go.
No, I know. I wanted to get rid of the healer first.
Good call. I was like, Sam, you kind of just hype beamed away from a Sigma. I imagine he's glued to the wall, just like...
No, I know. I knew you were behind me and you saw him, so you were hitting him, right? So you got...
I just imagine I walked up, like, dragging my mace, and I turned and looked up, and I was like, hey, Sam, you forgot one. A lot of them at mid right now.
You got one on the right at least.
Oh, I've got the right idea. I see what he's doing. Oh, that's big. That's a big hack. Oh, that's a lot of ults. This is gonna really hurt. Yep, I'm dead.
Oh,
yep,
shit.
Yep.
Come on, Omar! Oh, that
Big
Sigma's draining it,
triple.
though.
Yeah. We need to get on point quick.
Keep coming, motherfucker.
Thank you. Fuck. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, I told you I'm... Ugh, fucking hell. Sorry about that. Anyway, so... Music. What I'm saying is, music is important. And I wanted the... Hyperates 5 is about spectacle. And I wanted the music to really sell that. So, what you're seeing here is my iTunes library. This has a bunch of music that I use constantly. And music that I listen to religiously. Sorry. And the track that I actually used for Omar dropping down was from Naruto. And the specific track that I used was... yeah, Martyr. This track was perfect because it, actually, I can do it from here. Yeah, I can do this. Actually, why don't I turn it up? So, yeah, this is from Naruto. And since Omar is a huge nerd for Sasuke, like anyone would be for an edgelord, I felt like this song was perfect for that. Because when this plays in Naruto, it's when Sasuke goes, Revolution, and captures all the beasts and everything. But I thought the build of the song was perfect. And also because, you know, it has a really good heavy metal beat, heavy metal drop. Which lines up perfectly with Omar dropping. So I'll play for you again. You can hear the exact point when the metal kicks in and when Omar drops. So I'll play it for you again. Just really listen to the music and when it drops. And here comes the drop. So yeah, you can see how perfect because music I love. Thinking on a note chat, I love music syncs. So you can hear two really damn good music syncs when not only let me actually fix the audio. So you can actually hear two music syncs both right here when the music's building up. The music builds up all the way once Omar drops, and the metal kicks in as soon as he goes into Death Blossom immediately. And bam. And as soon as he starts shooting, the other riffs kick in. I actually skip a little bit forward. Then the music dies down. Again, this clip was the first one because as soon as I put this in the timeline, I thought, yeah, this song is working with it. And definitely when you're trying to make your own kind of gaming montages, definitely do not be afraid to crank up that volume and really make people hear it. Because again, it is all about spectacle. It really is. Because that whole moment is inspired by the moment from Naruto when Sasuke... Because the way it works in Naruto is when Sasuke has all the tail beasts up and he does planetary devastation, locks them all in the rock, as soon as he locks them in the rock, then that huge metal bass kicks in, and I wanted to do a similar thing to this, and I felt that it lines up perfectly. So yeah, that's one of the inspirations for just this moment especially. And then of course it goes back to normal, but then I just let the whole clip speak for itself because it was really good. Oh yeah, and of course I can't forget about this bit.
King Cole. Well, I'm gonna save that clip.
Yeah, that was such
Yeah,
a clutch
I will be sure
moment.
to get an angle of that as well.
See, all that was just basic, you know, just basic timing with the music. Have it fade in, fade out at the right time, and actually turn up the... And you can see the music actually escalates every time that beat happens. Because, yeah, I wanted that moment to look golden. Because that really made last year for us. And yes, as you are right, it is one of the best clips of Overwatch. No, it's freaking great. That whole bit is a perfect example of using music to sell your moment, and I feel like not enough YouTubers do that. Because most of the time they'll just slap music in there and just have it be like, you know, fill the void for, you know, I'm not saying for like every kind of like hyper rage, but just it'll just be slapped in, use it for whatever moment it is, have it go for like 5 minutes, and it's done. No, we use this for the hype shits. So yeah, that's that. And also, I think another, when talking about using music to your advantage like this, is this whole bit right here. Because you can see this was where the second moment, I would say this is where chapter 2 of the Hyper Rage pretty much starts, is after this interlude with me and Nick, is when Omar does...
Okay, whoa, Omar,
What's up?
Another Death Blossom. But you can see here, this is Answer's theme from Guilty Gear. And I felt this was a good enough rock track to, you know, fill in the void for clips that don't need music syncs. But I chose this track specifically because in this Hyper Rage we have Among Us footage. And this was one of the challenges with making Hyper Rage 5, was because we have a bunch of Among Us clips that are not videos yet, because Among Us footage is hard to edit, and both Nick and Blurgel have... Blurgel is the only one to have uploaded Among Us video, and he has told us it's hard to edit, because you most of the time have to leave it raw. You can't really do that much with it, and it's hard to do. But I wanted to at least challenge myself and at least try to get some of our Among Us moments in this Hyper Rage. And the best way to do that is with music. And the reason why I chose Answer's theme from Guilty Gear is that if you've heard Guilty Gear, if you've played Guilty Gear XR and you've played his Answer, you know what his theme is. And if I let the music speak for... Well, actually, let me play you the moment first. And I bet you can easily tell when that moment occurs.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I did it!
I'm taking my sweet time, gamer.
let's go! Woo! Yes!
Shit's always freaking come on me. There we go. Alright.
Alright. You want to see a pro gamer Hanzo strat? Watch this.
Looks like I got a fake to get Mickey's trust. So, if you were listening very carefully during that whole segment, the track actually in the actual game does this, where it will actually turn into like a jazzy piano theme. So I'll actually play it again without the movie music. So yeah, I thought perfect. And Blurgel didn't do this actually when he was making the first Among Us video we made, because you know it doesn't really need background music. But for Hyper Rage, it definitely needed it, and you know rock music would not, or just anything would not work. Any kind of hyphy music would not work for Among Us. And like you said, says Among Us is too plain, and I agree when trying to put it in a huge compilation like this. So the best thing to do is put some nice, calm, somber piano music in it, and it works really well. Because you know Among Us is really laid back and chill most of the time, and it works. So it's like this for the next few minutes. This whole segment with Among Us is just a whole minute. It's a whole minute and 30 seconds. And most of it is just out of context. Because all of it is out of context clips. Like, none of these clips that you're seeing have been in videos. Bitch.
Oh God, you guys are so dumb. He just pulled the classic, it was Travis, I'm innocent, you goddamn rangers.
Yeah, that was just out of spite. We can move on.
So yeah, none of these Among Us clips were in anything, including the, well, except for one, which we'll get to. But I wanted to stress with this point specifically is that you can put anything in here as long as it's done right. Because this is the problem when you just slap in music, is that it can be awful, and it just doesn't work. So, since I wanted to try and get almost every game that we played last year in here, this was the best way of doing it, and it works. Because also, it also shows you that stuff we haven't even uploaded into videos yet. And also, of course, I added some edits in here to kind of make it work. Because I really do want some of these to be in videos, but the important thing is that this whole segment works. Because this clip right here was the only clip to have been put into a video. Right here. You motherfucker! As that was from our last our only Among Us video where Dario goes nuts.
Wow.
Just imagine Meltrack playing on this goofy Among Us clip. Yeah, it wouldn't work. I would move stuff around to show you, but I don't want to mess with the source file of Hyper Rage 5. So yeah, it's a good example of what to do when sorting out your stuff, because you want to make it look good. So yeah, the whole Among Us section, even though it is short, is a good example of using music to your advantage and showing you could edit anything right as long as you have the right music. Because if I muted both of these, and if I just let these play by themselves, looks like I got a fake to get Mickey's trust. Or I can just kill him right here. Bitch. Doesn't work, does it? It does not sound right, because it just doesn't. Because I feel like if I were to edit any kind of Among Us video, I would put like this kind of jazzy music in the background. Bitch. Because not only does that sound different, but it works in the sense that it relates to the whole chill vibe that you get off of Among Us. And even though, you know, game design wise, Among Us doesn't need music, but in the editing perspective, you know, to hold your attention, you need background music. I feel you would need it a bunch for Among Us, so it was really good for that. And really helpful. And I highly recommend if you're making anything relating to that, you need stuff for that. Let's see, what's another good clip to show off? Unscripted as shit. Because there is a bunch going on here, and there's a lot to talk about. Let me see. I talked about that already. There is something I do really want to talk about, and I'm saving that for the end, as that requires a huge explanation. What's another good one? Oh, I'm stupid. So, right about, after a bit more, highlights and everything, we get around 14 minutes in, and we actually reach the first big moment and slash risk. So, the main difference between like all the previous Hyper Rages compared to 5 is that I've been taking a bunch of risks to make this one really different. And by really different, I actually have videos within the video. And by that, there's like huge segments dedicated to like one singular event. Very similar to, Omar getting the quad, but expanded in the sense that it's edited as if it was like its own video. So to show you what I mean is the post up bit. So if you've watched this, we have another transition into this segment.
Oh, exert, you bitch.
Alright, ye old faithful.
You right.
Ye old reliable.
We don't have a healer, but hey, 5 damage, 1 tank seemed to work for that other team. So why not,
Let's get this money. Just add to it, I'm not using shield.
Alright, post up!
Okay, yeah, I need shield. I saw that Arissa, I was like, nope.
Melt the shield, melt the Arissa.
Move up. Shield down.
So, post up is a great example of me taking a huge risk, because not only does this completely destroy the usual flow of our usual hype and rages, but if we take a quick glance at the length, post up alone is nearly 3 minutes, and that's long enough for like a huge interlude, but I wanted to take the extra mile and do something different. So the story behind this clip is obviously, as you can tell, is that it's just me and Nick here just doing a strategy because, teammates in Overwatch can be real fucking stupid sometimes, and also we didn't have a healer. So we were just carrying this freaking team. And
damage, 1 tank seemed to work.
Let's get to it a good bit.
Not,
Let's get this money.
That's good enough. So this whole bit is perfect because I jump between, hyphy to funny pretty often, and I figured what would be a better interlude for. I should move this down a bit. What would be a better interlude for a real? Because the previous section before post up was mainly comedy bits, just funny bits. But me personally, I like my hyphy bits, and post up is a fucking great example, because this uses a lot more spastic editing than all the funnier bits earlier, and I'm gonna show you one of those at the title that you saw earlier. So if we play here again,
this money. Just add to it, I'm not using shield.
So here's the first tell that something big is coming up. So right here, let's zoom in a bit, and let's get our chill music back. I was actually enjoying that. There we go. So, actually, wait. Much better. So what you're seeing here is that we have a very, very fast transition into. It's a bit loud for my taste. That's better. So what you're seeing here is a very faint transition to a red graphic threshold, which you can see right here. It's basically changing all whites in the picture to red, and all the blacks are becoming a lot more blacker. And we fade into a more my color. And you can see it's, at this point people will be wondering, why is Sam's name all glued up? And why is Nick's name all glued up? And then then it says in, and then cue me saying post up. So yeah, there is a bunch of different styling going on here that I felt really worked. It's incredible because this whole bit is completely different than everything else in Hyper H5. Because it's just meant to suck you in and be like, they did that? So yeah, this whole bit going on here is there is a lot going on here in post up. So not only is there like a bunch of cuts going on here between me and Nick, since I'm Bastion, he's Reinhardt in these clips, but every single time we say post up, we grab a title and we have it zoom in from one of the corners, respective of whoever's perspective it is. And then it comes in, comes out, comes in, comes out. Every time we say post up. Because I wanted it to be whenever one of us says post up, post up, post up. I wanted it to be flashy. I wanted you to know this strategy was going to be stupid. So, again, it's coming up right here. So, there you go. Post up, post up. It works great. And you can see the text being in different spots representing whose perspective it is. And right here again, post up, post up. It repeats and repeats and repeats, but it doesn't get old because that's the whole crutch of this whole segment. But here's a good cut though. And my original idea with the post up segment was to have little directional transitions between me and Nick's perspectives. And when I mean little directional transitions, I mean I was gonna do something along the lines of like this. Something like that. But considering I was cutting back and forth every like 20 seconds, that was not gonna work. So it was honestly better off just to cut because the whole madness of the section flew perfectly and it wasn't too daunting on the eyes to just see every like 20 seconds. But here's like a brilliant cut here. So you'll see right around here that it starts with my perspective coming onto the objective. And I hop on point, post up, and if I do this frame by frame, actually let me do it normal speed first. Post up, post up. Did you catch it? Here, I'll wind it back. And I'm gonna do it one more time. One more time because I feel nice. So, if you think I used a transition there, I actually didn't. This is a good example of using no transitions at all and using the text to do the work. Because I was a real smart ass. And, you know, every time I've used the post up, zoom in, that was the transition. Because the previous 2 to 3 times that we've been saying post up, you know it's going to pop up from the other side. That was the transition. And also because me going into turret form as Bastion and Nick popping open the shield at that moment works incredibly perfectly. This is just one of these little moments where I'm like, because it works too good. It works so good. And again, here you go. Because the text fades away at the perfect point before Nick's POV comes up. This whole moment was golden in terms of editing. Hyper H5 had so many different editing, like I was saying, so many different editing styles. That's risky, but it holds up. You played your gamble and you won. Yeah, it was a big risk, and I'm glad it paid off. And then right here we have the really big kickoff. We're in sync, and then bam. This moment was perfect because it's, again, wanted to show you the spectacle of how fun we have in our games. We're not just, you know, depressed pieces of crap when we play our stuff. So yeah, post up is a great example of... I say post up as a grand example of stuff on our channel. It's why I wanted to put it in Hyper H5. Even for me who knows nothing about Overwatch, the hold up flip was beautiful. Oh yeah, it's great. And yeah, even though we lost it at the end, we still won. Oh yeah, here's something that you actually see a bunch of in some of our videos, but I think it's good to talk about here. So you'll see that sometimes we use you know, GIFs of things to kind of express emotions, as you know, we find it annoying to have face cams in normal videos, and that's why we don't really do it for our LPs. And personally, Blurgel finds it a lot more fun to do GIFs. So the way this works is that we find a GIF online, find the best one that works, and slap it in. And there is actually a little bit going on here as I properly scale it so it's filling most of the screen. And it has a mask on, which is making half of the picture opaque. So you could still see some of it, but most of it is on the right side. And, you know, expressing next, no! We've been doing this forever now, and I really wanted to properly explain that. Because usually it would be just like, you know, just like this. Oh my god. Editing masterpiece right here, I swear. But yeah, perfect example of how you should use GIFs like that. And yeah, then we win. Nick's like, holy shit. The match took us 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Play of the game. Post up. Again, perfect moment. You have some tiling effects. And another GIF example. And that's that. So yeah, I think the thing you can definitely take from this is use what you think will work. Because as you can see throughout this whole bit right here, is that all it was just, you know, just a couple of, all it was just me carrying on the titling. That's all it was. And you know oh, I'm stupid. I forgot. I should at least mention what the music is. So, let me actually, you can probably see it from the video, but I will just, I'll solo the music so you can appreciate its glory. Here you go. Let's get this money. Another perfect example of music syncs. So the song here is from Fairy Tail. It's the song Devil Slayer. Now, fun fact: I don't watch Fairy Tail. I only listen to the music from Fairy Tail. Because one of my main inspirations for when I did the themes for Hype Labs is a Japanese heavy metal composer by the name of Yasuharu Takanashi. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I believe. But he mainly makes like really epic choir-based heavy metal songs. And in Fairy Tail, the anime Fairy Tail, he did like a whole bunch of heavy metal music for that series, and it's gorgeous. And it fits the theme for Hype Labs and Hyper Rage so well that I wanted a song that has a great build-up and fits post-up. So you can see that right here that the song starts when Nick says, "Let's get this money." And I want you to, again, just like the Omar bit, pay attention to the build-up.
Let's get this money. You know, just to add to it, I'm not using shield. Alright, post up! Okay, yeah, I need shield. I saw that Arissa, I was like, nope.
Melt the shield, melt the Arissa.
Move up, move up. Shields down, shields down. Okay, give me a sec to reach up.
So yeah, what's going on there is basically start the music as soon as Nick says,
"Get this money."
Which I felt was a perfect way to start that. And we start the build-up right here. You can see there are 2 keyframes here. Let me actually zoom it in a bit more for you guys. So there are 2 keyframes going on right here. And right here, both the music and the audio of the clip are going up really slowly to build up to me saying, post up! And as soon as it hits right here,
Okay, yeah.
I wanted that to drop harder than anything. And also you can see we slowly drag the music back down because we, you know, want you to hear the clip. This is only just to make sure you're engaged as hell when you're watching this. And about right around here, we have a little music sync.
Down, shield down.
Because what I like to do
Shield
when
down.
making any of these
Okay, give me a sec to recharge.
is put in the most little itty bitty music sync. Because I feel like when you've done enough music syncs, that's how you can make your video iconic. And I feel like this is the shit that could get severely underrated in the YouTube algorithm.
Post up! Okay, yeah, I saw that at Rissa, I was like...
But yeah, I recommend any kind of music from Fairy Tail or Naruto especially, because there is a bunch of, you know, heavy metal tracks that can be used. And actually, do I have it on here? I know it's not on here. Where is it? Hang on. Let me check my stuff really quick. Is it right here? I swear I had it right here. Oh, yeah, I had it right here. Okay, yeah. I actually can't show you this because this has some personal data on it. Hang on. I have some personal shit here. Hang on a sec. Just gonna pull some shit. So, hang on a sec. Just talking about things. Doing things. Okay, so there was actually, I have my I can't show you this because this has some spoilers, as this is music making stuff. But in terms of music that I was going to use, I was actually going to compose some of my own music for this, but that would have taken too much time. Because the difference between using music that's already made from like games and stuff is a lot easier because, you know, stuff music's iconic and that works better. But the advantage of making your own music sometimes is that you can make it your own and make the music actually related to what the moment is, which is, if you remember Operation Depache, that's kind of where that came from. And that was mainly all jazz music, but with Hyper Rage, with it being all hyphy and you gotta have heavy metal and stuff, I initially wanted to make my own music for it, but wasn't gonna work that way. So I actually have a little itty bitty snippet from something that I actually was making, but I immediately had to stop it because it was too complex for the video, especially considering making a soundtrack for a video takes 10 times as longer than the video itself. So here, I'm going to play you a little snippet of something that I was actually making for post up, but the music I chose for Fairy Tail fit a lot better. So here you go. I'll play it from the Stream Magic thing. There you go. See how you feel about this. And that's it. Yeah, I only did around like 30 seconds of that, and after that, it's nothing. Because I was making it, and I was like, huh, this is really good. This sounds really good. And I was like, wait. No, this doesn't work. I didn't come up with the right amount of build-up for it, and nothing would have worked. Yeah, just like you said, says it's good, but too heavy for the clip. No, you're right. And also, it does not fit the mood for It does not. I could not think of anything that had the right amount of build up. So again, I'll play it from the beginning again. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Sorry, I don't have my music audio here. So just for reference sake. Yeah, it's too heavy for what it is, and it's just, yeah, it just doesn't work with anything that I was trying to go for with Hyper Rage 5. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, that's kind of where it goes from there, honestly. It's just the fact you gotta really consider that if you're gonna try and make something like that for a video, you really gotta consider time. And I really did not have the time to make something like that for Hyper Rage. So yeah, it's kind of insane. Also, goddammit, Sam, that 30-second music is better than anything I can play on guitar. No, I don't play on guitar. That's not me on like an actual guitar. That's an Apple audio editing program called GarageBand, and you can actually fiddle with a live guitar strings. Because the way that works is that I either use, it's kind of funny actually, I either use either my phone and do this in like a simple rhythm, or use my iPad and, you know, just doing like simple loops. Because even though that 30-second track sounded like God tier to you guys, all that is me, you know, being like, yeah, it's MIDI. It is MIDI. Yeah, it's MIDI. Yeah, it's brain dead simple, but it can sound really professional if you do it right. So anyway, let me open this back up. So yeah, it's proof that you do not need, if you have the ability to make your own music, it's not always required, especially for when something as god tier as this. I feel like, because that's the idea with YouTube nowadays, is that if you make a video iconic enough and you use already owned music like I have from Fairy Tail here, you can make the music blow up a lot harder, and you can get that whole domino effect of people in the comment section of, you know, I can see it if like we blew up. You look up Fairy Tail Devil Slayer and the first comment you see is post up. That would be the dream to see. But anyway, it's post up is definitely a god tier moment in this Hyper Rage, and I'm glad I could have worked it in, because originally post up was going to be its own video, but it was too short. Because keep in mind, it's only 2.5 minutes, so it was definitely fitting to be its own thing in Hyper Rage. So yeah, that's that. Let me find something else, because there is a... Oh god, like I said, there's a whole bunch going on here. I can easily talk about a lot of things. Oh, you know what? Here's a good one. So, if we want to talk about like changing the pace of the video, and we do this a lot with every Hype and Rage, is that, you know, you'll notice that most of the time we'll go from you know, hyphy to funny, and we'll switch off. We got oh my god, losing my train of thought. In Hyper Rage 5, I do this a lot more frequently, and that was another one of the risks, was switching off a lot more frequently. So right here after the post up segment,
yeah,
we cut to this.
What is this bell? You know what? I'm gonna... Oh wait, a read? Do not... do not ring this bell. I was about to say, I'm gonna ring this bell, and then I read it. It said, do not ring this bell. Inviting misfortune is an act of virtue, but only the student of heart should ever consider it. Should I ring the bell?
The make everything harder bell?
Inviting misfortune is an act of virtue, but only the student of heart should ever consider it. Is this a...
Do it. Ring the make everything harder bell.
Fuck it. Ring the bell. Fuck it. Sinister burden? What is that?
Yes. That's the way you stop having the everything be harder bell.
Using this item has no effect aside from causing it to leave. Oh. Well, here's the thing that's gonna happen. I'm gonna forget that I have it, and I'm gonna wonder, why is the game so hard now? And then I'm gonna realize, oh!
And then you're gonna realize, oh, Mickey did this.
And you know what they say, ring it, if you don't work once, ring it twice.
So, yeah, this whole bit here is a major pace change. Because not only did you need a mental break from something as hype as Post Up, you really needed it after something as big as this. So, this is different than every other Hyper Rage, is that this whole section starts with like this huge minute-and-a-half interlude of me mucking about in Sekiro. And then we cut to the actual montage. So, in previous Hype and Rages, it's... How do I explain it? We mainly do the sort of thing where, we have a hype moment, then, cut to the funny segment. But I felt like in Hyper Rage 1 and 2 specifically, we kind of mainly relied on titles to do that for us. And actually, let me pull up what I'm talking about here. Because I believe do I have it? I don't think I have it. No, I don't. But what I'm trying to reference, and no offense to actually, I can pull it up on YouTube. I'm stupid. Hang on a sec. I am actually what you call dumb brain. Hang on. What if I search Hyper Rage 2? Will it actually show up? No, in the algorithm, it probably won't. Nope. Hype Labs Volume 2? It does. Cool. So, I'm going to show you here. If I can find the exact time. Yeah. So, no offense to Nick at all, because he did Volume 2. But to show you an example of... Because there are two ways to do this sort of thing, and Hyper Rage 2 is a good example of this. So, watch this clip.
No hex required. 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 No hex.
So, what you saw there was from a clip from Hyper Rage 2, and Nick used his opening to show that he got the same diva line in one loot box, which is good. But the actual thing I find, the thing I don't personally like doing is using titles to show, do the kind of thing like silly moments, best moments, gone sexual, that kind of stuff. Which is fine, but it's just, I like doing that with music. And it's evident in the build-up into after Sekiro.
And you know what they say, ring it, if you don't work once, ring it twice.
Yeah, dude. We're up by 4.
Mine.
We're still trying to play it like we're losing.
So sorry.
So, yeah, you can tell when anyone has seen this, you know that there are no titles to explicitly tell you that, yeah, this is where the funny moments are. No, I wanted the music to reflect that. I did this sort of in Hyper Rage 3, but not as perfect because some of the music choices weren't that clear, but it still worked. But here, I really wanted it to be clear. Not only from the beginning Sekiro bit, where it's obviously meant to be silly, and, it's me and Mickey goofing, but the music build-up and then the transition, and and the music, you know, differently paced from the from post up. It's meant to give you that feel of like, yeah, we're entering the break. You want a better music transition. Exactly. It's all about getting the right mood set, and this was definitely the step in the right direction, as I felt for moments like, you know, like me eating shit against Yuri's in here with the Sekiro prompt. I can't allow it. It works. It works perfectly, because also it also works for moments like this. I'll actually play this whole clip here because it's too good. Hang on. God damn it!
Idiot. Mickey, this guy's trying to step up on your street cred! Where you at? Dick! I just see him
hearing Mickey, where you at? I'm actually mad.
I just see another Lucio, like, you know, doing the dance of Mickey's people. It's like, Mickey, this guy's trying to step up on your street clip. Look, here he is again. Oh, he's dead.
It's literally the dance of my people. Me, my brother, and my sister all do the same thing.
He said, run your fade, cuz.
Where we at?
So that's the where he at moment is a perfect example of using the music to my advantage here, because funny enough, originally this clip of Mickey going where he at was actually meant to be here where the Sekiro bit is. Originally it was meant to go there because I thought, oh, this moment would be perfect without music, because usually when I'm editing Hyper Rage, especially because I started this trend in Hyper Rage 1, is not using music is a good indicator of, oh, alright, I can lay back and, you know, just watch this clip. But no, it's also not using music as a good indicator for making a chill moment, especially when you want it to lead up to something. And this was a huge bit. This almost went into the final cut of Hyper Rage 5 until I rewatched it a whole bunch of times and now addressing the risks. And I was like, yeah, this does not work. And to prove this, watch the clip again, but without the music. Keep in mind, it would have had a longer opening, but try and get the general idea here. It's kind of insane how different the tone of this clip is without the music. God damn it!
Idiot. Mickey, this guy's trying to step up on your street cred! Where you at? Dick! I just see him
hearing Mickey, where you at? I'm actually mad.
I just see another Lucio, like, you know, doing the dance of Mickey's people. It's like, Mickey, this guy's trying to step up on your street clip. Look, here he is again. Oh, he's dead.
It's literally the dance of my people. Me, my brother, and my sister all do the same thing. He
said, run your fade, cuz.
Where we at?
Whole different. Oh, excuse me, almost choked. Whole different feel, right? It feels completely different when there's no music in it. Completely different. And yeah, that almost went in the same spot the Sekiro video bit did. Where the Sekiro bit was. Kind of crazy to think about that. But yeah, it has a whole different feel when it has no music in it. And yeah, I felt it didn't work. Now, as he says, you say you wanted to give the viewer some chill moment, and Mickey screaming, where he at? Isn't really chill. Which isn't exactly true, because when it didn't have music, it was fine. I wanted it to be like, you know, somewhat chill, but just be funny in the aspect of Mickey being stupid. But it didn't work without music. It gives off a completely different vibe without, you know, the goofy music that I have here.
Mickey, this guy's trying to step up on your street cred! Where you at? Dick!
It works better with the music. Because it fits the whole mood here very well. Because what I do after that is I actually cut the music off.
Run your fade, cuz.
So you actually see here I do this.
Oh my god! Fuck you! Don't do that.
I'm sorry, babe.
Don't do that.
It's a grand clip, this one. Shouts out to Tori. But no, here the music actually stops. And this was another moment, another part where I was like, you know what? Much like another tribute to HyperH 1 where you had the music, the silly music stop. I wanted to kind of do that here, and also this moment fits perfectly without music.
Oh my god! Fuck you! Don't do that.
I'm sorry, babe.
Don't do that.
Are you okay?
No!
No.
I need someone to clip that.
And the music picks back up, and we're back in the moment. So, another tribute to HyperH 1 in the sense that it keeps the no music, and then we loop back in. With the
I need someone
transition.
to clip that.
It works perfectly. And I nailed this to a teeth this time, because I do this twice, and it works. Because also when Isaiah sees, when we're playing Ghost of Tsushima here, and he sees the guy drop, it lines up 10 times better. Here, I'll show you.
Alright. Oh! You saved me! What if I cheat?
Oh, hello, big guy.
We must pray for him.
What?
Something happened?
No, I smoke bomb and stabbed him. He dropped his mallet and then ran in here, turned around, looked at us for a second, and then just dropped dead.
What?
I'll record it. I'll send it to you later.
So yeah, props to Isaiah for actually sending me his POV of this clip, because this moment was amazing. But no, not only do you have a really good music sync here,
We must pray for him.
but also the music, the music stops and we have a little chill moment. So we're not only like improving what I did with HyperH 1, but expanding it in the sense that not only can we combine music syncing, chill moments within the funny moments, it works super well. Because I feel like the three pillars with HyperAges is the hyphy, the chill, and the funny. Those are the three pillars I feel like what makes HyperAge work. And this moment is great. It's freaking great. Because mainly the multiplayer Ghost of Tsushima is a bit wacky, but it's funny. But I hope enough people understand it, because of the way this happens, and Isaiah's reaction.
What?
But it's great. It's still great. Because then also, we cut straight back.
I'll record it. I'll send it to you later.
Cut straight back.
Oh!
So yeah. And then we cut back to the ending bit of this segment where Omar tries to glitch and he dies. And yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's so funny how that works. And yeah, that's a good summarization of the like the funny bits, like the silly bits, because again, you don't want it to drag. You don't want the music to drag on for too long. Otherwise, either people watching it will get sick of it, or the music is repetitive and you need to change it. So either you stop it, have a break with something funny, or just stop the segment entirely. So that's what works out great there, and it's perfect. And then actually we can lead into the other big bit that's actually just before this, which is the Matt eats a spider bit. Which before that, I'm actually gonna catch up with chat because I know some of you have been saying a bunch of things. You guys are very close to 1,000 subs. We popping off. I hope HyperAge 5 brings in the channel the attention it needs. I hope so too. You know me, I want more people to be aware of what we do. And the fact, if more people come to our channel and see the cool stuff that we do, that'd be amazing. That's all I want, really. What else? Also got, wait, no. Yeah. We got 800 people here. We can raid the Fairy Tale OST comment section with that. Yeah, when post up. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah, let's get to... Yeah, so here's another, expanded version of interludes, and also what... Because here's the thing with this clip, is, this is when Nick's brother Matthew, eats a spider. And the funniest bit was that this actually was meant to be in the, Hang on a second, I have the thumbnail here. Just open it up. Yeah, so this video, I mean, sorry, this whole section with the spider almost went into the Fall Guys Hyper Rage. Because it had to be taken out because it was too long. Now, if you've seen the Fall Guys Hyper Rage video, you know it's only nearly 10 minutes, and it's mainly only meant to be like silly. But if I hover over this whole bit right here, so if I go from here to here, you can see it's nearly 4 minutes. It's almost 3.5 minutes. This was too long. This was too long for its own video. So it needed to be segmented. Because you can also see down here how many edits were in just this little bit. It's kind of crazy. So why don't we break this down a little bit. Because this is actually some interesting stuff if you want to get into editing. And you want to make something out of something as simple as this. So the funniest part about this whole segment... let me see if I can pull my music back up. I was enjoying that. So the funniest bit about this whole thing is that the whole clip is just us at the menu. It's just us at the menu the entire time. And this was a challenge because it would have been boring as hell if it was just this for 3.5 minutes without anything going on, so a lot of creative liberties had to have been taken. So what I've done is that you can see there is a lot of zooming in. There is a lot of zooming in and titling going on. So I copied assets from what I did with the Fall Guys Hyper Rage video, which I highly recommend you watch. Because it's the same font and everything, the same styling and everything. And
what's up, homie?
There was a lot of zooming in going on. Because I felt that zooming in on everyone in the menu was good enough, and putting text in, making the text really big to fit the Fall Guys thematic worked very well here. So doing that to help represent the spectacle of Hyper Rage really works. So when you watch this bit, you can see there are a lot of edits like that, and a lot of zooming in. But then there's, you know, the occasional break with just the menu, because, you know, there's some moments where you don't need editing, like editing or not. That was a little funny bit because I thought I could do it just because. When Dawson is going, "Are you gonna eat it or not?" Yeah, so this whole bit is just creative liberty up the ass, and it doesn't get crazy until the countdown. So when I start counting down, we fade the screen a little bit as it's counting down to draw attention to the number, and as soon as it hits 0, 7, it goes crazy. This is when the editing picks up. So I'm actually going to play this little section here, just for any of you watching, just to show you exactly what I mean here. I'll play it from the countdown.
Alright, count us down.
Oh yeah, actually also, you'll notice that there is also very chill music happening right here. And you'll notice the immediate change to fit the mood.
Do it. Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, count us down, Sam.
Alright, I'll count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7!
7.
Oh, no!
never eaten a spider before.
Oh shit, I was in the PlayStation store. I wish I could save a clip of this.
So that was the best, the worry I had when we're trying to get this clip was that I couldn't save it. Because on PlayStation you can only save clips from games if you're actually in game. I was actually looking at the PlayStation store during this, which you cannot save your current game clips in. It will not record it. So what's funny is that Nick is actually in this clip. That's him in the center facing this butt towards us. But he was out. I mean, and it's not in here. It almost went into the video. But there's like a little 20-second thing of both me and Matthew going, Nick, save a clip. But I felt like it wasn't really necessary. As it was just about Matthew being stupid. But point is that the editing here is nuts. Let me actually turn the music back on. So not only do we have the music coming in, but countdown from 10, numbers going out, and then the freak out, which is just a GIF. And right here is a good example of shape masking. So all this is a actual GIF, which is that big, but it is shrunk. It is masked around this guy's head in an oval-like form to fit the face, because I thought that'd be funny. And it lines up perfectly with Dawson's laugh, which is even better. It's too good. Yeah. Shape masking is good if you want to like fit something on someone's face or something, and I wanted to at least give it a try for Hyper Rage 5 because I wanted this thing to be diverse as hell. It looks really good. And yeah, we have a little this is another good pause moment of cutting in and then cutting to title.
I've never eaten a spider before.
With a slight blink and you'll miss it, but a little 2-frame zoom in to help you understand that the position Matthew is in. Let me fade, and then, you know, more titling, and then we get to arguably the most gross out bit I think I've ever done for any Hype and Rage.
Well, it looks like you have the weapon to kill yourself.
Alright, here we go. Daddy Longleg. Oh, I really don't want to do this. Don't be a bitch.
Oh, now I really want to see this.
Oh!
Oh my
It's
god.
so weird. I can hear him shooting.
Oh my god.
I had to watch it down. I had to watch it down.
Be a man.
Oh.
So that is pretty pretty simple stuff, because all that is because thank God to Matthew for actually recording him doing this and sending me the video. So to do stuff kind of like this, you gotta because all this is right here is since it is in portrait mode, it's hard to edit something like that. But the way to easily do that is we fade the actual footage by a lot, so we draw attention to the center thing, and we add a drop shadow to Matthew so that pops off more, and there you go. That is Matthew eating a spider pretty much. This works because drop shadows are helpful because this not only helps pop off the center image of the thing itself, but we can also fade it out when we need to and then draw back the color of the background. Because it works out really well, and this is just, further on from here, it's just usual edits like you would see in any kind of video. And yeah, it's also funny because this edit right here.
If you smoked, you would just be like, I am Spider-Man.
I've gained the powers. The powers.
That edit right there was actually the first thing I had in mind for this whole clip when it was meant to be for the Fall Guys Hyper Rage. So I'm pretty glad that got to be in something, and I hope it has grossed out all of you because it's still funny. So yeah, that's that whole bit. But it's a good example of using using one whole, like not a very static footage, but making it dynamic with zooming, some pretty fancy text effects, and you know, some really nice editing. That's how you can make that look good. I tried my hand on editing on the stupid Rubik's Cube vid, but I did. It's fun, but very time-consuming, especially with captions. Yeah, that's why I say titling is optional. Only do it if you want to. That's why I only, like I said before, I only do it when it's necessary, especially when making something big like this. So now we're reaching we're getting a good length for this stream actually, because there's not that much left I have to talk about. Except for one more thing. So, the big thing before we end this stream. The big thing that was meant to be part of this whole Hype and Rage was this whole segment back here. So, if I zoom this out. So, after the Omar quad, we go back to another, you know, we made some fun ones on and offline. We have, like, one more good hurrah of our best moments. And it's all well and good. Until we hit a point where, just out of nowhere, we hit a, I'd play this again, but I don't want to risk copyright, and I'm surprised that didn't get copyrighted. Anyway. No, so after this whole bit, we then transition into this whole thing. And yeah, we're gonna talk about Run into Rialto now. This was the biggest risk out of the entire video. Let me actually make it bigger. Hang on. Where am I? Hang on. Let me get the title. So, this was the biggest risk out of the entire video. The reason is that I wanted like, the main goal of Hyper Rage 5 was to make it completely different than every other one. And by that, I didn't want it to be, you know, hype opening, usual stuff, blah, 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 and then end it with a clip. I did the same thing here, except took it to a whole new level. And by that, I pretty much made a whole other video. In which I did. So, you'll notice when you watch Hyper Rage 5, you'll notice that there is a couple of these little moments where you'll see this.
Let's go! Alright, that's one.
How?
Where you'll see that little teaser with a like dramatic music building up, and this happens several times. Happens here too. After the first like funny bit.
Fucking let that wrecking ball go until there's a problem.
No, gotta stall the point. Yeah, we gotta stall the point.
And it also happens just before Omar's quad.
I got you, Sam.
Alright, 74 till Earth Shatter. Nice job, Sam.
There's like at least 3 or 4 of them.
So yeah, I wanted to try and really build up to something. I wanted to build up to something big, which I had, and I knew was going to be the ending clip. So, the reason why I did this was I wanted to correct a mistake. I wanted to correct a mistake that I did with Hyper Rage 1 all the way back in 2016/2017. And I will show you what I mean after I've explained all this. But here's what I'm trying to get at. So I build up through all that, and I wanted to try and confuse everyone by thinking, oh yeah, the video's probably over by at least, you know, this point. At least like right here.
Alright, we call this strategy posting up.
Yo, we posted?
Yo, we posted up, let's do it.
So, my job is to damage boost Sam. Got it.
Sam, you are glued to my ass. Mickey, you are glued to Sam's ass. Together, we are gross.
Together we are a human centipede. Ew.
Jump right down.
And then it's going back to normal. And I wanted you to think, what the hell's going on? Which I hope has worked, because this is meant to be the huge ending finale for year 4. Because this is meant to be a big thematic ending. It's meant to feel completely different from the rest of it, and it's meant to feel epic as fuck. So the idea was this whole segment was meant to be like this humongous endgame style big finisher. I wanted it to be a big thematic moment to end Hyper H5 on. Which I hope has worked, because by this point I wanted it to feel like a video. I wanted it to feel like a separate video, which it's funny to say that, because if I actually hide myself, you'll see underneath the Hyper H5 project, 1-inch Rialto is its own project, because it was edited like its own video. Which I will actually say right now, 1-inch Rialto will be uploaded as its own video sometime next week, because I will be actually adding something to it, which didn't make it into this. Back to my point. So, the way I mainly made this work was that I switched the music.
Together we are a human centipede.
After this transition.
Jump right down. Nice job. Oh, fuck, I missed the shield. Okay, I'm protecting you with my body.
Mainly to help give you that feel of, wait, why is there orchestral music now playing? Shouldn't there be like heavy metal? I wanted it to help you feel like, wait, what? But it's still normal. It's still a normal clip, because it's us playing Overwatch, doing normal stuff, until you realize when the transition comes back.
Glued to Sam's ass. Together, we're gross.
Okay, I gotta go. Yes. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I need to grab a snack.
Alright, no problem. Doing it! Fucking let that wrecking ball go until there's a problem.
No, gotta stall the point.
74 till or shadow. Wait, come on, 2 down! I'm down. Fuck, get the fuck out of here!
Get out of here!
And then we stop it with
the Hanzo did not
with
find
like
him
a
amusing
really,
at all.
and then we stop it with like a really faint ambient noise to let you know, yeah, this is going to be a really epic finale. Because yeah, this is going to be its own video. So the idea behind 1-inch Rialto was to provide, an epic finale. I think I stressed that enough. But this was the humongous risk, because I haven't done this before. I never have tried like a humongous cinematic finale, epic finale of us playing something to basically help tell us what we do. Basically to help tell you what the channel is all about sometimes, and kind of to help let you know what the foundation of the channel was about. Hype. So basically the rest of this, it feels like a regular video. Like my kind of regular video that I would edit. And so, it's heavily edited. It has titling. We have, we have GIFs. We have some wacky edits. But most importantly, music cues. And this has the best music choices I've ever used. I didn't create any music for this. It's just pure music that I highly recommend listening to on your own time, because I really wanted to use these. And I will just play you the beginning bit of this to show you how good the start of 1-inch Rialto is.
Alright, we're gaming, boys?
I think so.
I mean, Sam, it worked last time, so,
You're right.
Dude, are you gonna assist on the payload? Wait a minute.
Maybe.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll start with this, alright? But if we walk out there and I see a Reaper, Hammond, and Genji, Sam, you better switch. Alright, gamers.
Put that shield up!
Where you at? Oh, you're right there. Alright, Sam, recon mode. Let's move up.
I scared him. Whoa, that was a hook.
I'm going in! I missed.
Genji, I'm not that stupid. Oh, fuck.
I don't know.
So yeah, I wanted the music of 1-inch Rialto to be fucking good. And I wanted it to get in your head and to know that this is it. This is the end of this shit. So to show you the music I used, it is actually from, I have it in my iTunes. This music is from Batman Beyond. And for those of you that don't know, Batman Beyond has a bunch of really, really, really good industrial metal music. And the music I use is actually from the movie of, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but there's a scene where a fight takes place in a nightclub. And they play this, like, really Disturbed style metal music that plays, and it uses a bunch of, like, industrial sounds that go along with it. And I felt like this fit perfectly because I'm playing Bastion for the majority of this whole entire segment, and I wanted it to reflect that. So just pay attention to I'm gonna mute the video, but pay attention to the music of this part because it's so good with the build-up. Sorry, I was muted again. Fuck. So, you'll notice that there's two music syncs here. The first one being when I start going into turret form and I shoot. And the second one is when, I'll show it to you right here. When I start shooting again right here. So yeah, this whole segment is music sync heaven. I can't go into detail of, like, I'm not going to show you every music sync, but I highly recommend anyone watching, for people watching the stream and for those going to watch it down the road, I highly recommend just watching, when it, either like watching Hyper H5 or when 1-inch Rialto becomes its own video down the line. But I highly recommend just watching this bit and just listen and see. I want to see how many music syncs you can identify, because there's so many. There's so many, because you can tell here that I actually loop the music in some instances to help line up with certain moments of this part, because it's so good. This song, it fits so perfectly with the tone of the start of 1-inch Rialto. Because another feeling with 1-inch Rialto I wanted to do is that, you know, sometimes you can see, you know, you have my text on the screen, but excuse me. The main idea I wanted to do with the majority of 1-inch Rialto was hang on, let me actually, yeah, so most of the time you'll see moments like this.
Go! Oh, there's three of them dead, let's go!
I wanted to do that because, unfortunately, I was under the limitation of, I didn't have, Mickey or Nick did not save clips during this moment because mainly they forgot, and I'm glad they forgot, but I'm sad they forgot because I really could have used clips from their perspectives. But when you're under a limitation, you can do some amazing shit. And what I did was, whenever either Mickey or Nick popped up in front of me, most of the time, I used the text in a really dynamic way to follow where they were going.
Oh, bye! Peace, homie!
Which you can also see right here.
There we go.
Nice job.
Move back, move back.
All right.
Oh, Genji.
Oh, yeah,
shit.
definitely move back.
He's dead. He's dead.
He's dead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh fuck, Mickey, no! Protect the sun!
Yeah.
Let's go! Alright, that's 1 point, boys. Keep it moving.
So it's not only constantly escalating, but the fact that I wanted text to show up on the screen and move around while everyone's talking to help you really get into my shoes in my position of this entire moment, which I hope has worked because it works out super great. Like, here's another example of using the movement of keyframing of text.
Handled.
I am walking this point like it's my goddamn dog. Let's
Oh,
go.
you hold it down. I'm gonna melt it. Oh, wait.
Oh, he's going again, boys!
Oh, you got me. You finally got me. I'm in the road dog.
Yeah, he really doesn't like me.
Okay.
God, every time I look back on this clip, that Genji was a dumbass. Anyway. Yeah, so I always like to move around the text like that and really get you in my position of here. And here's another good moment of that, of Nick in the corner.
Shoot that sleep dart, bitch!
Nick, it's we will protect the mounted weapon.
That is honestly one of the best moments of this entire segment because it's not something you have to pay attention to. But the fact that Nick just comes out and just says,
shoot that sleep dart, bitch!
Nick, it's...
It just works. And also, right here, you can also... I will let this play out for a second, but you can also see how well I music synced the... Because the music that I chose, the nightclub fight, actually changes its rhythm, and it actually changes the beat of the song to a much more dramatic beat. And I really wanted to line that up with the end of this part. So I'm going to play that for you right here.
Yeah, but everyone's damage boosted.
Hold on tight. Hold on tight. Gamer! Oh god, I got slept. I want to land a really clutch charge kill, but I can't get through.
Well, I got cannon again.
Yes, let's go!
We're
Let's go!
doing really well, guys. So you don't need to save anything.
Let's go!
We have 2 minutes to push it
Fuck you,
half
Roadhog! Moira, what do you think you're doing here?
What are you doing?
Doofus, let's make like a Stromboli and get the fuck out of here!
Get out of here! Get out of here! I'm getting playing the game again.
I gotta change controllers. My controller started dying right at the end. Hold on.
This shouldn't be working. This should not be.
Final Cut could barely handle it because I'm streaming. But yeah, I really wanted the build-up of this to work out because that was when we were really popping off. And yeah, then we cut back to normality, and we go back to the and then we go to the second segment where we are on defense. So my point with this is that music syncing, great. Use it to your advantage because it's just, this is the most music syncing I've done in a video for a long time, and it's just great. And there's also the fact this is epic as fuck. But yeah, there isn't too much syncing compared to the Batman Beyond song, but there is still some in there, which I highly recommend you try and find. But from here, this is meant to showcase what the downfall of our defense was. But a little highlight at the beginning, after we were like, holy shit, that worked, was to kind of, give you a little breather and then strap you back in with another hype song, which I will showcase right here.
I mean, top center gives you the most range of motion. Though we are most vulnerable to flanks, but we're also here with the Ash, so giving her some boosts.
Attackers incoming.
That's a monkey.
Melt it, Sam.
Lucio going around the
He's
right.
hiding
He
behind
fell
the
into
point.
water. Okay, no.
Yeah, they're hiding behind the point. We need to get him.
Oh fuck! Yeah, we're getting flanked. Okay, they were ready for this. They were absolutely ready for this. Is that a wrecking ball? Oh, that's a Reaper too. Yeah, Sam, they were ready for this.
They were like, this is...
So mic was being weird there. So you get the different vibe of how different this sounds. This song is also from Naruto, one of the movies. And you can tell the different feel of how much more heavier that this song is compared to, like, a much more feel compared to the Attacker segment. Because this is when we started really struggling, and we knew something was wrong.
Oh, fuck me! Holy shit!
And a lot of gifts were used, a lot of different techniques were used to keep up music syncs. No, yeah, there isn't a lot to talk about with this part, but it's basically just helped to show you that we were struggling. But, yeah, here's another good bit where, so, this song is from Final Fantasy Advent Children. Jumping drastically with music choices here, I know. But, the music here is meant to sell this moment, because I wanted something to build up drastically, because this is when we were on defense again, and we really needed to hold the point. And this is where the name comes from for this video. And you'll see that I'm gonna play the whole segment. It is only a minute long, counting the music. Yeah, it's only a minute, but you'll see the buildup of how well this works, and it's amazing. Like I haven't relied on music that much in editing, because back then I used to rely on titles a lot, but now I've kind of grown against that. But now, pay attention to how well the music works with this segment, because it's really good. I will play it right here.
I'm gonna try Wrecking Ball. I'm gonna try to fucking stall. I'm just gonna try to piss him off.
Call of Dukes.
Roadhog's gonna have to be our anchor tank for now.
Alright. Now counter echo because I'm a good.
Got him, bitch! Sorry, I just fucking ran over that echo when she was low health. Got him! Ooh, I'm so happy I landed those shots. That was scary. Hey, Roadhog, what's up?
I need to get back upstairs.
The fuck is that, Roadhog? Don't let him push it at all. Come on. The less we have to push it, the better.
No, Reaper, you're stupid. That doesn't work.
Fuck you, I'm contesting this point! Oh, it's almost ready!
Ah, I'm dead.
Area denied!
Come on, boys! Come on, boys! Oh my god!
Let's go, bitch!
Team 2!
Let's fucking go! Alright, now we have to push it over that hill and then that's it. Over that little speed bump.
And that's where the name 1-inch Rialto came from, because we literally had to push it 1 inch over that little speed bump. So there isn't much going on here on this part, as it's just, you know, meant to show you the struggle that's going on with us trying to hold it there. But in terms of here, though, let me open this up.
All right.
So, wait, need to mute the clip. So from here, I'm using a really well-made workshop tool in Overwatch that allows you to slowly move the camera, and you can get some nice cinematic angles with it. But besides that, I'm using the classic glove PNG that we always like to use, and kind of just express Nick's passion, just trying to get his point across of like, yeah, we need to know that we need to get this over there. So I move it around a lot around the bridge, keeping the subtitles down there, just to make sure you know what's going on. And we just need to push it over that little hill, give it a little earthquake shake effect just to express how much we're so close to this. And yeah, I can't tell you how stressful that match was, but it was insane. Again, even for someone who has no idea about Overwatch, I could understand how close the win was from editing. Oh, yeah, it was tough. But from here, this was, again, we're now nearly 50 minutes in, and this is like the final section. And this is meant to be like the big hurrah, the final ending to this. And again, the music is meant to sell it, because this is meant to be the final clutch. So from here, I'm just going to let it play out.
Alright. I don't want to protect my team anymore.
Alright, boys, good luck.
I want to play damage.
I'm going to go out from the top and maybe flank behind. Let's see how it goes.
Let's get this, boys. Arissa.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I see an Ash top left.
Oh my god, even they were ready for me.
Come on, we're close. Shit, okay, they are ready to just post on that point. We need a Reaper.
Yeah, Reaper would be a great idea.
God, if he could get in there. Should I just switch?
Teleport.
Maybe
Yeah.
teleport.
Teleport
Build
behind on the
teleport
the
behind,
balconies.
do the thing.
Do the
Wait.
Boom Reaper thing.
One down.
Scare him away, come on, two down! I'm down, fuck. That's 3, come on.
Are you though?
It's not over yet!
It's not over yet!
Come on, Ash, what's up, bitch? Hammonds, get the fuck off my objective! Fucking hamster prick, let's go!
Yeah, video game. We're good.
Almost 6 minutes of objective time, boys. I just fucking walked that objective like it was my goddamn dog.
So yeah, that whole bit is just meant to get the music to sell you, because the only few edits that's going on here is very, very similar to the post-up bit where we had the music build up, like here.
Let's get this, boys.
You know, perfect music sync. But also the important part was trying to communicate, because I know not everyone plays Overwatch, so I really needed to communicate how stressful the match was, and I needed to really well show people what exactly made the win happen. So if you notice that when I get the 2 kills here, the music again syncs up and we get a slight zoom in. So I'll play it for you right here.
Do the Boom Reaper thing.
One down.
Scare him away, come on, 2 down! I'm down, fuck. That's 3.
So you notice it zooms in, the music goes dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, and pull back. I really needed to express how demanded that we needed to get those kills. And we do that. I only do that twice because, again, the rest of it just needed to sell how stressful the match was. Because at that point, I didn't need to do anything else. The clip was speaking for itself. But the music is also pretty important. This music is actually from Gintama, which, again, another show I have not watched. A lot of anime music in this video, but it's besides the point. But the music here also, this song really works. And it, again, I'm gonna play it without the video sound so you can appreciate the music. So yeah, I really, whenever I want to do anything Overwatch related with our videos, I try to be as creative and dynamic as possible. Because I know shooters are all over the place, so you really have to directly tell what's going on. But yeah, I'm really proud that, because again, the whole segment with just that whole bit was my biggest worry. Because again, the whole 1-inch Rialto segment is 16 minutes. It's the longest thing that's in the compilation, and I was legit worried it would have, by the point anyone watching would have gotten to that point, everyone would have been super bored. I was worried everyone was going to be super bored by that point and no one wanted to keep watching it. That's what I was worried about, but I'm glad. We don't record it, obviously, but when I showed it to the guys and when they saw that bit, they could not take their eyes off it. It was incredible. I'm so glad that everyone liked it. But yeah, I'm really proud that that worked out, and 1-inch Rialto has really become one of my new favorite edited videos. Just because of the spectacle of it. And also, the bit which I really had to... The reason why it's in here is at the very end, right here. Also, pay attention to the music sync in here as well before I... Right here.
Nick, I'm just like,
Snipe.
you dead?
Snipe.
It's not over yet. Oh, good shit.
Yes! Kill! Participation!
57! Holy shit!
What time is it?
That's hyper-rage 5 material.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's some good stuff.
Oh my god! My throat hurts. I need water.
So yeah, that whole bit is the reason why it's in here. And you want to know exactly why? Like, there is a specific there is another thing I pay tribute to with the very first Hype and Rage, and it's actually at near the end of the first Hype and Rage as well, and it's right here.
Damn it! I hope.
If you hit the share,
But first, get out of the law. Oh look!
Oh wait.
Look at that! Let me move up.
Kill participation.
Yeah, sorry, my computer glitched out on me. Hang on, I need to do this. Hang on. Right here.
I hope.
If you hit the share,
But first, get out of the law. Oh look! Look at that! Let me move up.
Kill participation. Yeah. 30 of them dead.
That whole bit with Bastion, with me is Bastion getting that kill participation, is edited the exact same way it is in Hyper Rage 1 right here. Again, paying tribute, but making it different. So yeah, and I'll play it for you again right here.
Yes! Kill participation!
57!
It's edited the exact same way, but but better fitted to suit Bastion instead of Winston going. But it's Bastion going ah. So yeah, again, paying tribute to the first Hyper Rage in a really unique way by making it a completely separate video. Yeah. It's perfect. And but yeah, I stated earlier that I wanted to correct a mistake that I made, because also in Hype and Rage 1, the biggest, even though it has remained a classic on the channel forever now, the biggest mistake that I made was about, Hype and Rage 1, classic. But the problem with it that I always had was that, around the first, 5 minutes, it's 4 to 5 minutes, it's perfect. But until you get, right here.
That was
Honestly, that happened to me today when I was playing with Matthew a little bit, like an hour ago. But I was on my phone and I was trying to send a message and I didn't hear I was never dying. I throw my phone in the air. Alright guys, you ready?
So, for anyone that remembers Hyper Rage 1, this is the bit that was not rewatchable. It comes out of nowhere. It's slapped in between the video, in between some funny segments, and it just didn't work. I knew what I was trying to go for, but it could have been its own video. And honestly, it starts here and it's too long. Way too long. It's nearly 4 minutes and it's slapped in between a point that's too near to the beginning. So one of my main goals with Hyper Rage 5 was correct that. Correct it. Because also, yeah, the editing is outdated. It's iMovie before I got Final Cut. It's outdated as fuck. But the point is, I really wanted to correct that mistake I made. I wanted to make an actual spectacle, not something that's just slapped in right in the center like that. And I'm glad I could make that work. So, yeah. And then after that, we just end it with another good old montage of everything that's happened. I will let that play out. I'll just mute the music real quick.
I need water.
So there's nothing being thrown at you at the end, just the logo. And then we slow down, show the logo, stop. And that's Hyper H5. I'm very proud of it. I'm glad the risks I took paid off. And yeah, because all there is going on here is, you know, the logo coming in, logo fading in and fading out, showing some clips. And yeah, that's it. Because again, I wanted to try not only, you know, pay tribute to Hyper H1, do some stuff that I can improve from Hyper H3, fix some mistakes that Nick tried in Hyper H2, and then most importantly try and one-up Nick in Hyper H4. Because that's what we kind of do, is trying to one-up each other every time. Because I did the first one, Nick did the second one, third, fourth, now fifth. So yeah, I'm super glad that everyone has enjoyed Hyper H5 Ride the Hype. Because again, the major risks I took was the length being longer, like what I described about 1-inch Rialto, and all that other start is freaking great. Oh my god, yeah, I'm really proud of this, and I hope y'all have learned something from this. Editing is, like, even though I hope to become a game designer one day, but editing is still one of my passions to make some really thematic stuff. But I also really do want to make more stuff like 1-inch Rialto, in the sense I want more cinematic, engaging, thematic videos like this. Because I don't feel like we have enough of that, in the sense that we show off a hype push or a hype defense or something. Just something very thematic that I feel like would fit a video. So yeah, I think I have covered everything. Mostly everything important. There's not much else to say. Other than I got mostly everyone in here. Got our best moments from last year on and offline. And yeah, really proud of it. I'm really fucking proud of it. So yeah. Too much text is being thrown at the viewer just so suddenly. Oh, I agree. My editing was ass back then. In the big picture, Hyper H5 is a great start for this year, and the best Hyper H5 for the worst year. Oh, yeah, that's the best way of putting it. No, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Maybe I'll do one of these again for another video if I feel like it. I felt like doing a deep dive for this one specifically because Hyper H5 I knew was going to be a big undertaking, considering it's nearly an hour long, and it's near down the longest video I've had to make. Like, I know the Devil May Cry 5 Hyper H was that long, but it wasn't as detailed and thematic as this. It's just kind of insane how far we've come since 2017. But yeah, I highly recommend rewatching it, or just, you know, paying attention, doing all that stuff, and keeping an eye out for all the music syncs in 1-inch Rialto, because yeah, I will drop that announcement actually in the stream, is that I am, like I said, I will actually be uploading 1-inch Rialto as its own video sometime next week. It will have a little extended opening that couldn't be fit into Hyper H5, but I feel that was the whole goal with 1-inch Rialto anyway, was to make it its own separate video in the future that I felt would be good enough. but also set the tone of what year 5 will be. So yeah, I hope y'all know, like, this has become your new favorite, like, big video on the channel and all that, and I hope for the best with this year, honestly, because I'm glad that we're still able to do this after these long 5 years. Now double or nothing for Hyperbridge 6. Yeah, you gotta tell Nick that. That's his job for next year. I did 5, now he's gonna have to do 6 if we get that far. But yeah, thank you dudes for coming in to this little deep dive into my world of editing. I hope you all have learned something. I hope you all have learned what goes on in the back end of things, how all this shit works, like music wise, editing wise. I dare to say it, there is a lot that goes into our videos that I feel like not a lot of content creators have the balls to do nowadays. And that is why I respect content creators like, you know, Maximilian or the best friends, the super best friends, because they actually, you know, took editing into account and not like I don't want to call anyone out, but just a lot of Let's Players are really lazy with their content, and I just try to spark it up with a lot of really hype as hell editing. That's been the main goal with me with Hype Labs for a long time, and I'm glad everyone's kind of expected that level of quality, because it's not going away. And with year 5 now, it's gonna keep rolling. So I'm glad all of you could come in and join in, says Devin and a couple of others. I think shut up at some point, I don't know. But yeah, we've hit a good enough number, the point where I was gonna end this. I expected this to be around 2.5 hours, but yeah. I highly recommend rewatching Hyperbridge 5 and expect 1-inch Rialto to be its own video in the future. So my throat is extremely dry. I need to go lie down. But yeah, I'm happy y'all love it. I will catch y'all in the next one. I will see y'all next time. See you, dudes.